Hey everyone, it's now time for my 21st episode of my Talk series. And this time I'll be discussing the Lights main event from Dallas, the most recent Supercross race, or should I say Arlington, Texas. And only one word can describe it: unbelievable. I think what was good about that race was the fact that Blake Baggett was able to take home his first ever Supercross Lights win of his career. But the big disappointment has got to be Ryan Sipes. He led it for 13 laps until Baggett made the pass on him. It's just when he got held up by Tyler Wharton. And this is the second race this season that Ryan Sipes has been held up by lappers. But it's the third time this season if you count Stroop at Toronto when he had his chance at the win messed up. But honestly, I wonder if the AMA can really do much about those lappers. But overall, my dad was saying I was happy that Wharton won Baggett won the race. Good for him, because he had to come to the LCQ and he got the last spot to the main. And Brett Metcalf had a tough night. Geico Power Sports Honda crashing in the first turn along with 14 other riders. Porcel being one of them, Stroop being another. Martin Davalos was another. And man, that was one incredible race right there. I didn't think I'd see a first turn pile up that bad probably since Indy of last year. And if you want to talk about disgraces this season, you could talk for at least a week about lappers, because probably about 4 races already, counting the Lights race in Dallas. The race in Dallas. That's about the 4th time this season that lappers have really messed up a good race. Because it seems like that there's not many flaggers out there. I really wish there would be. But what can you do? But honestly, my dad was saying that he hoped that Adams was the one who picked up, not Adams, but Sipes rather, was the one who picked up the win, because he looked solid. He was doing everything right up until the lappers came about. I really hope that the AMA can do something about it. But I think honestly, the dumbest thing that I saw was that I had seen from the race was when Jake Moss and Troy Adams were going at it for second place. Moss trying to muscle Adams out of the way. It didn't work. Both riders would end up back in the pack. In fact, Moss had to pull out of the race, and Adams would continue on, but he would be a lap down. But that was good for Troy to get a good start, but too bad it had to go south so quickly. Because Adams hasn't been on the podium since the U.S. Open in 2003, when he finished 3rd overall to Kelly Smith and Mike Brown. But it was kind of uncalled for, but I think Moss was doing too much too soon. Because when I saw his crash, it looked like Moss's handlebar caught on Adams' front wheel. That's kind of what it looked like to me. And then later on, laps winding down, Barsha was closing in on Baggett and Sipes. And then he admitted on the podium to Aaron Bates that he had lost his front brake. I didn't notice it up until he started dropping back. And I honestly thought that Barsha has spent a lot of energy trying to get around a couple of guys up to 3rd, and it didn't cross my mind that he had lost his front brake. But for Austin Stroop, he had a chance to have the points lead with Purcell crashing in the first turn and coming back for a 7th. But it just was not meant to be. Stroop would crash, finish up in 5th, while Purcell would finish in 7th, as mentioned. And now, but if you're Christoph Purcell, you just did damage control. Because Purcell had a 9-point lead going into Toronto. Now it's only down to 5. Fortunately, Purcell has only lost 4 points in the last 2 races. Where if you look at Pastrana in 2001 in the 125 Outdoor Nationals, his lead dropped from 44 to 18 in just 2 races. And then that got all rattled at the next race of Washougal when he crashed again. And when I look back at it, Travis lost 60 points in 3 races. 6 motos, basically. Or 5 motos, excuse me. But honestly, back to present day. As mentioned, I thought it was good for Baggett. He definitely deserved to win. He even deserved the podium too, especially after that 4th at Daytona. I thought he was going to get the podium, but made a few mistakes. But this time, Baggett was able to right the wrong. But unfortunately, a 19th at Daytona kind of put him back in Daytona, but Toronto kind of put him back a bit in the points. But it was good for Baggett. I was happy for him, I was happy for him. Kind of bummed out on Sipes to be blocked out that way, but quite honestly, I hope that the AMA does something about these lappers. Well, I guess I'll have to find out what they'll do in 2011. But for now, I'm kind of looking forward to the next race in Jacksonville. Well, that will do it for this episode of my Talk series, and I'll see you back for the 450 main event in my next episode. See you guys later.